and welcome, Mindsetters. You are on Learn Extra Live Mathematical Literacy. This is Peter, and I'm Katleho. How are you, Peter?
I'm well, Kat, and yourself?
Good, thanks. Haven't seen you in a while.
I think when I come, you go away.
You go, yeah.
I'm starting to get a bit of a
That's what
complex
normally
here.
happens. Today was a mistake that you found me here, actually. I was actually starting to run. What are we
great.
doing today, Peter?
Well, we're doing a little bit of statistics, so we're
Okay.
going to be doing a little bit of revision.
Okay, awesome.
And we're going to be looking at those wonderful concepts of mean, median, mode.
Oh, always good.
And we've also got a wonderful challenge question today as well, and that's probably what we'll start.
Yes,
the
that's awesome. I know our grade
session with,
11s
yeah.
love challenge questions.
I
So
think
you
they
have
do,
made their
absolutely.
day.
Do we have a prize for them? I wonder if we've got a prize for them today. Maybe
Not
you can ask our
today.
producer and
Yeah,
they
maybe
can find something.
maybe I'll talk to the people upstairs.
Okay, tell me, did you have a good week?
Yes, I did. I had a fantastic week. I've
Oh,
been here all
fantastic.
week, so it's been awesome.
Great, and I've had a wonderful week. I'm a bit worried about going home
Why?
because my son has a little friend
Okay.
called Sam, and
Is he
David,
real?
John, and Sam are kind of baking at the moment. So I left the house in one almighty mess. It looks like there's been a civil war going on in my kitchen. And every now and then I listen out for fire engines
Yeah,
and
no,
things
I
like
can
that.
imagine,
But,
and a big bomb and bang and stuff.
absolutely,
That's
hey.
awesome.
But I tell you what I did do. I bought
Oh wow.
them one of these things. Do you remember
Okay.
what these are?
Slingshots.
No, man,
No?
that slingshots are wee. This
What
this
are those?
called this is a catty.
Catty.
All right. Do you remember how it works? Or do you know how
you
it
put
works?
a
What
stone
you do?
in it?
That's right. You get a stone or a rock, and I brought a rock into the
Okay,
studio.
awesome, yes.
I don't know what type of rock it is because I'm not really a rocker. I'm more into classical
not a
music.
rocker, hey?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
But if you look at this rock, you put it in to the little pouch.
Yes.
And then you aim. I'm just
At
going to
the-
aim at the camera.
I just aim directly
Okay,
at the
straight
camera. You have to get
and
it
then
right.
what
there.
happens at some stage? How much does a camera cost?
Let's say I don't know. Doesn't matter.
Doesn't it matter?
Doesn't matter. We'll just run
Because
away.
I'll pay for it, not you. I'm not going to shoot at the camera. But
Okay.
basically what you do is you put it in and let it go, and it's absolutely wonderful. And I actually have given this catty a name.
Okay, what's it called?
I've named it after my sister-in-law. It's called Brenda.
Brenda.
Yeah, 'cause
okay.
she's also quite
Pretty
catty.
name. Is she quite catty
Yeah,
as well?
so that's why.
Does she also hit you with rocks?
Yeah, she tries to. But
Okay.
catty.
Cat.
yeah.
Okay, okay, I get it.
All right,
That's
you
okay.
try and think about that
Yeah,
one.
well,
Talk to them, and I'll go there.
sure.
Cool.
So you guys, of course, know how to get hold of us. Facebook.com/LearnExtra. And our Twitter handle is @LearnExtra. As you already know, today is going to be an exciting show. We even got slingshots. So make sure that no rock hits you today because you're going to be on the ball. Remember that your questions and queries are always welcome. And I'm always here sitting and waiting for them. When Peter gets a little... I don't want to say boring because he's never boring, but you know what I mean. When he gets a bit confusing, I'm always here to help you. That's what I'm here for. Over to you. The look that I'm getting is quite a killer one.
Well, I'm a little bit worried that I get confusing or boring. I just
No,
I don't
you
know which
don't.
is
You're
more of a insult here. But anyway, folk, back to mathematical literacy. Today we're busy looking at it's called Measures of Central Tendency. I hate that name because it sounds like something out of space, but it's actually not. Basically, we're looking at a bit of statistics, all right? And we're going to be looking at mean, median, mode, range, all those things. You've covered them, and in fact, you would have started covering them when you were in grade 10. We take it a little further in grade 11, and then next year in grade 12, oh my giddy aunt, then we really take it further. Okay, so let's get on. But the first thing we're going to do today is we're going to give you a bit of a challenge question. And here's our challenge question. Right. A set of data consists of 7 numbers. Arrange the numbers from the smallest to the largest using the following information. Number 1, the maximum value is 32. The range is 24. The median is 20. The mode is equal to the median. 3 numbers make up the mode. There are no other numbers equal to each other. And finally, the mean is equal to 17. Sure, that's a lot of stuff to remember to do that question, but I think we're busy. We've posted it,
Putting
or
it up.
you're putting it up
Yes.
right now. So you can actually look and go online and actually find all that information. But to make life easier and to give you a little clue, let's have a look at the following. Firstly, let's just quickly try and remember some of these basics. What does the mean mean? What does the median mean? What does the mode mean? Okay? We'll even say, what does a range mean? Because I know you need it in that challenge question. So let's have a look at it. So the mean, from the time you were a tiny little tot, okay? So from the time you were in grade 4 or grade 5 or grade 6 or whatever, you would get your set of results. Okay, so they would say, I don't know, let's pretend they catch results. They'd say English, 22%. Maths, 14%. No, that's not true.
That's not me.
Not true at all. Okay, we'll talk
Mine
about
is
our...
more like 95, 99.
Okay, and those are big numbers to work
105.
with. So let's rather work
Okay.
with our producer's marks.
Yeah,
okay.
no, hers are
So English, 14%. Maths, 8%. Science, 4%. Geography, 3%. Okay? Now, our producer would run home and with great excitement say, Mom, I'm going to calculate my average. Here's my average. And she would add up all the marks and divide it by the number of subjects that she'd written. So she would say the 14 plus the 4 plus the 8 plus the 3 plus the 0. Divide it by the 5 subjects that she did and come out and with a great smile and with great confidence say, Mom, my average is 3.5%.
I hope she'll
Okay.
get that right since the maths mark wasn't so good, hey.
Yeah, no, it would be a little
Yeah.
difficult,
She
okay?
needs
But
some help.
if someone intelligent did it,
Yes,
she could
yes,
say,
yes, okay.
my average is 3.5%, okay? So in the old days, before mathematical literacy, or before you were exposed to mathematical literacy, you would look at adding up a set of marks, dividing by those number of marks, and calling it the average. Now that you do mathematical literacy, what we're saying to you is, hold on, there's not one average anymore. There are now 3 averages that you're going to deal with. The thing you used to call average, the thing where you added up all the marks and divided by the number of subjects you did, we now call that the mean. Okay? That is now called our mean, right? So it's like saying the 4% plus the 8% plus the 3%. Okay, plus the 5%, and dividing it by the number of subjects, okay? And our dear producer could only do 4 subjects, so that's what she did, right? Then we would add it up, and we'd say 4 plus 8 is 12, plus 3 is 15, plus 5 is 20, and divide it by the 4 subjects and say her average is 5. We're now no longer calling it average, but we are now saying the mean is 5, or the mean average is 5%. Okay? Important change of thought process that you have to undergo here. It's no longer called the average, it's now called the mean average. We have another average called the module average, or the mode. And what is the mode? Well, the mode, if I look at this word here, mode, and I look at this word here called most, mode is the figure that occurs the most. All right? So again, let's go back to our producer's maths marks. Okay, so she writes a test, and in her test she gets 5% for the one, 0 for the other, 0 for the next one, 0 for the next one, and 1 for the last test. So she writes 5 tests in the term. She gets that 5%, 0, 0, 0, and a 1%. Right? So what is the mode? The mode is the mark that occurs the most. So in this case, my mode would be 0. And then we look at this term, and this term here called the median. And if you look at the word median, and you look at the word middle, right? Now, middle, I always used to, when I was a little kid, before I was corrected, spelled middle with a M-E, middle, because that's how I used to say middle. Middle. What's the middle of that room? The middle of the room is right over here. Okay, it was never the middle. So the middle and the median sound the same. Middle, median. Got it? So again, if we go back to our producer's marks, let's use this. The 4, the 8, the 3, and the 5. Okay? We would put them in order. 3, 4, 5, 8. And let's say she wrote another one and it was 9%. The middle of all those marks is the 5, because you can see 1 this side, 1 that side, 1 this side, 1 that side. That's my middle or my median. is 5. What happens if our producer only wrote 4 tests? Okay, let's say her tests were as follows. She writes 4 tests. She gets 0, she gets 3, she gets 5, and she gets 6, right? In fact, let's be nice to her. Let's make it 16. And her parents are delighted because for the first time she's out of those single digits. So it's 0, 3, 5, and 16. Now the median is the middle of that data. So we've got it in order, and that's the important thing to remember when we're calculating median, is to put it in order. I was horrified last year, absolutely horrified last year, when I was marking final matric papers. And one of the questions was calculate the median. And a number of students just put the marks as they were. They didn't arrange them in order. So they just wrote the marks as they saw them, found the middle of it, and said, that's the median. No, folks, you've got to put it in order. Okay? If you don't put it in order, you're going to get the question wrong. It's quite simple, really. So putting it in order, there they are, 0, 3, 5, and 16. The median of that set of data is here, between the 3 and the 5. Now, how do we know what that is? Well, it's quite simple. All we're going to do is we're going to add the 2 numbers that are either side of where the middle should be, and we're going to divide by 2. In other words, we're finding the mean of 2 numbers to find the median. Sure, that sounds complicated, doesn't it? Let's do it. So we're going to say I've got 3 plus 5 divided by 2. And 3 and 5 is 8. 8 divided by 2 is going to give me 4. So in this case, our producer's median would be 4. Understand? One more thing I want to look at. And that's this thing here called the range. Okay, so the range of marks. Again, let's think of our producer. She gets 2%, 0%, 3%, 8%, and then a whopping 22%. A miracle happens.
Sure.
Now, the range we are going to say is the highest, here we go, the highest minus my lowest mark. The highest mark is a 22%. The lowest mark is what? Now let's think about that, folk. Is it 2? Is it? Or is it 0? Does 0 count as a mark? Well, yes, it does. Absolutely. Just ask our producer. She was used to that. It happened quite often. Okay? So 0 is a realistic mark. It exists. The number 0 exists. Ask me. I have a bank balance. It says 0. I know that 0 is a real thing. It exists. It describes something. Okay? So 0 counts. Does that make sense? So 22 minus 0, my range has to be 22. Range is not a average, okay? The only 3 averages that we have are these 3 things: our mean, our median, and our mode. They are averages. So I can get a mean average, I can get a median average, and I can get a module average. Got it? Bearing all that in mind, let's re-look now at that challenge question, because now it's going to make a lot more sense to you. Let's look at it. A set of data consists of 7 numbers. Arrange the numbers from smallest to largest using the following information. Number 1, the maximum value is 32. Number 2, the range is 24. The median is 20. The mode is equal to the median. 3 numbers make up the mode. There are no other numbers equal to each other, and the mean is equal to 17. Kat, I wonder, do you think anyone's responded yet?
No, no one yet.
No one yet, eh?
Yeah.
Because it's quite a challenging question.
It is quite a challenge.
Fantastic question. In fact, I think I might just give that as a test to my grade 12s even, because that's how challenging it is. Right, let's move on. My next thing. Question. Sifo and Sindili are twin boys who are both good middle distance athletes. Sifo and Sindili recorded their times in minutes for a number of 7-kilometer trial runs. The time taken for a 7-kilometer trial run is as follows. Sandili, 35 minutes, then he takes 32 minutes, 31, 32, 32, 31, 30, 29, 32, 30. Sifo takes 30 minutes, then 31, then 32, 33, 33, 34, 34, 35, 35, 35, 37. Write down Sifo's median time. Yeah, okay. Now, what do we know about median? Do you remember? Median is the middle. So the first thing we've got to do when we're asked to find the median is we have got to arrange our data in order from the lowest figure right up to the highest figure. Got it? Okay. So let's then have a look at Sifo's times. You can see that this examiner has been a great guy or a woman. Okay? Been a great person, I think we call it.
Yes, a person.
Okay. And what they've actually done is they've already arranged that data in order for us. So you can see I've got the lowest here, 30. And it's in order, 30, 31, 32, 33, 33, 35, all the way up to 37. Sandili, on the other hand, his time, right, is not arranged in order. But we're not worried about him because the question definitely says find Sifo's median time. And that's what we're going to do. So let's find the middle. So we're going to say there's a 30, 37. Let's cross off. We're going to keep working our way in until we get to the middle figure. So 32 goes, 35 goes, 33 goes, 35 goes, 33, 34. Aha, there's my median. So what's my median? My median is 34. Right, next one. Calculate Sandili's median time. I was hoping they weren't going to give that to us, because what do we have to do? Now we have to take his time and put it in some form of order. Okay, again, from our lowest all the way up to our highest. So let's do that. So looking at that, when I look at all my data, I can see my lowest figure is going to be 29. Kat, I'm going to ask you to help me do this because I always tend to make silly, careless mistakes. Okay, so 29. My next one is going to be 30. And then I have another 30. Right, do I have a 31? Yes, I do. I've got 2 of them, hey? 31, 31. I've got a 32, 4 of them. My giddy aunt. 32, 32, 32, 32. And finally, I have a 35. Okay, now, this is what I always say to my students. I always say to them, guys, when you've arranged your data in order, just count to make sure you have the same amount of figures. So let's go for it. I know I should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 data. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pieces of data. I have it. Now we're going to work our way in. So let's do that. 29, 35, 30, 32. 30, 32, 31, 32, got 2 in the middle. I've got a 31 and a 32. So what am I going to do? I'm going to add them up and divide by 2. In other words, I'm finding the mean value of the 2 median figures to get the proper median. So I've got 31 plus 32, and I'm going to divide it by 2. And when I do that on my calculator, I'm going to get 31 and a half. Right. Next one. In fact, I think it's time for a break, isn't it?
Yeah, just before we move on, let's take a quick break. Okay, Peter, you ready?
Okay.
Are you sure you're ready?
I'm ready for a break.
Okay, cool, because we're ready. Guys, we're going to go for a really quick break. Send in any questions that you have. I can already see that most of you have joined us, and now we're going to take a break so that the rest of you can join us. See you after the break.